Hello. Thank you for listening to and watching Youhadoptions. This episode, I have Blaythe Steuer from the very good Birmingham band No Cure. Great conversation. We talk about No Cure's tour coming up with My Children, My Bride. Goated Alabama band. Great conversation. Talk about putting on shows around this area. Talk about there's kind of a stigma from other parts of the country about Alabama. Great conversation. I think they're doing a lot of cool stuff. I've seen them play a couple times. It's been great. Great seeing people going to shows. Check them out at No Cure Straight Edge. Wherever, on Instagram and Twitter. Great conversation. Check out Youhadoptions at Youhadoptions on Instagram. Like, comment, subscribe, all that stuff. But definitely check out No Cure. Curse from Birth is sick. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Thank you.
Open to sitting up like an adult.
Yeah, if you don't mind sitting up a little bit.
Okay.
That's
I'm
good.
ready for my math test.
It sounds good. I'm not trying to make it too formal here, Blaythe. But thank you for joining me.
Absolutely, I appreciate it.
It's been I didn't I think you didn't know what this was going to be like. And it's not like I said, it's not a weird Eric Andre, gotcha. Nobody's gonna run out and attack you.
That would be fire, though. I'm very open to being fucked with.
I noticed that No Cure, it's very serious, like the lyrics.
Absolutely, it is.
But you guys, there's a playfulness as well. Does that make sense? Or maybe y'all's personalities are more playful.
Well, everyone in the band is actually really cool to hang out with. I like them. Yeah. I can't say that about every band I've been in. Obviously I write the lyrics, and inherently I'm a bit of I like to have fun, but the lyrics I'm not fucking around with them, and I'm trying to be very concise. And I know with straight edge stuff, people are very sensitive about that because a lot of times they find it as a personal attack, and I'm trying to be very clear that's not what I'm doing. So just trying to be not use crazy huge words. It's this is what I'm talking about. If you misconstrue this, that's on you, is kind of the way I approach it. But I'm not writing, I write things I care about a lot, so of course it's serious, but then obviously I'm trying to have a good time. Have you always been in heavier bands? Yeah, I've been playing in heavy music, screaming music bands in Alabama since I was 14.
Oh, damn.
I've done some softer stuff, but it's always been about heavy stuff for me since I found out about it.
What were some of the first bands, heavier bands that you listened to?
Well, so I found Avenged Sevenfold on my own.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, this is crazy.
This shit is insane.
I was like, this could happen 7 times.
Literally.
Yeah, they're so cool. But then a friend of mine, his older brother, took us to go to a local show when I was 12, and I had no idea what to expect. And that show ended up being a band called My Children, My Bride.
Oh, yeah.
Which anyone from Alabama that's been going to shows since before COVID, knows that MCMB was like the Alabama metalcore band, like before Era, Gideon, all of that. So I saw them, and Irons also played, which was a super important band to North Alabama, like hardcore and all that. And obviously that fucked my whole life up.
It changed the trajectory?
Yeah, like I was on chess club and all that, and I was 12, and I was like, oh. As soon as I was there, I left, and I was like, okay, I need to emulate this. And I spent, the last 15 years doing my best to contribute to that and be a part of it. And it has taken a long time.
Yeah, it's a process.
Yeah, it turns out that you actually have to be good also. You can't just want it.
Yeah.
I've done a lot of bad bands.
Hey,
I'll probably do bad bands again.
It's growing. It's growth. It seems like, especially, how long has No Cure been around? Like a year?
Yeah, it's just over like a couple weeks after year. Our first show was March 30th or 31st of 2022. We put out the EP in the beginning of March of 2022, and just been going since.
Yeah, well, just like I was listening today, and
doing your homework.
I have to, but listening to like the first. Was it an album or is it an EP?
The 7 tracks.
Yeah.
We call it an EP.
Okay. But that to Curse from Birth, like the production value, just in like a year, it sounds.
Yeah, we got better.
Much greater.
Yeah. Well, also for the Stainless Steel, we did like every single part of that ourselves. Like we went out to a cabin in Coleman, recorded the instruments, and then our drummer Dewey did his best to mix it. And Dewey will tell you himself, he is like not a mixer. Okay. He can, but like it's like not what he aspires to do. He just did his best. And I think for the Stainless Steel is a very like cool sound to it, but it doesn't sound good.
It sounds good, but like
it has an aesthetic to how it sounds.
Okay.
But I wouldn't say that it sounds good, really, I guess.
Okay.
I love it. Like, it's very special to me. I'm not trying to dog the record. I made it. I love it. I think it's great. I think it should be listened to, and it's a great representation of what we're going for. But, like, it sounds like a bunch of dudes went into a cabin and made screaming music. Like, that's what it is, and that's what it sounds like. And for Curse from Birth, we did the same thing, but then we had our friend mix it, who does that for money a lot.
Okay.
And he did better than we could do. And also, we played better because we became a better band between, like, not playing shows. We made for the Stainless Steel before we, like, played any shows.
Okay.
Like, from the get-go, I knew, like, okay, this band's going to be cool. Let's have music out before we start playing, so maybe people will care when we play shows.
Check you out. Yeah, people will do some Googling, hopefully, if they see, No Cure on the flyer.
Bandcamp searches.
Bandcamp searches, yeah.
Yeah.
But how'd y'all... Where did y'all record Curse from Birth?
So we did the drums in Aesop's basement, which was...
That's your guitarist?
Yeah. She doesn't live there anymore, but it was a place that she was renting. And then we recorded the guitars and the bass in the same cabin that we did for the Stainless Steel. No. We did the bass there, but half of the guitars were in Aesop's basement. Yeah. Because we're like doing it between tours. Like we were just really trying to keep going fast. It was super rushed, honestly. There are actually 2 songs written for Curse from Birth that we held off on, that we recorded and finished, and we're like, these are too cool. They're going to be on the next one. So we re-recorded them for the new thing that we're going to put out. I don't know when. It's mostly done. So those 2, I'm excited for people to hear those, because I know that like Final Truth and Embrace Death are like songs that people that fuck with us fuck with a lot, but like these other 2 songs were like such a big step from For the Stainless Steel. I was like, you know what? I'm going to hold on to these. Yeah. But those songs would be cool. We played one of those live on our chamber tour we just did. Okay. That song was called Slumped in the House of God, which I know is an insane thing to call a piece of music.
It's cool.
I like it a lot.
It sounds hard.
We played it at that Thy Art is Murder show too, and the reception of it made me think it was the correct move to hold back on it, because people were just like the entire time, which is something that I think is awesome to see.
It's sick.
It's a very overstimulating song, I think. And it's like not like a ton of breakdowns. It's just like parts that are just like, you're just going.
Straightforward.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah. But y'all have toured a lot in the time y'all have been together, right?
Yes, I'm very tired. I am still not fully recovered, and I am definitely slacking on other parts of my life. But I mean, I think that's what you have to do if you have the ability to do so.
Yeah.
And we all do. So we've just been busting as much ass as we can because I am not getting any younger.
Right. Yeah. You gotta make choices.
Yeah. And there's definitely been a lot of sacrifices, but I mean, I'm not going to go on Facebook and be like, fuck, I guess we're going to do these shows. It's like, hell yeah, we're off. You know?
Yeah, because, some people, like, don't get the chance to tour and, like, play shows. And
we've been really fortunate with people, like, actually checking it out and coming to the shows and buying T-shirt. Love to sell T-shirt, and if I can't sell T-shirt, then I can't buy gasoline.
What are we doing?
And then I can't go to the next show to do more screaming. It's the whole thing, T-shirt equals screaming.
That's right.
Yeah. I can graph it out.
You've done the math.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I grew up in Mobile, and that's where we moved from.
Mobile's cool as hell.
Mobile's cool.
You got a music box?
Oh yeah. But like, I remember the first show when we moved up here was that one at Firehouse, like Wielded Steel's first show with
Sang with Sigabog?
Yeah.
Hey, yeah, I booked that.
That was insane.
That was, it was that day when I was like, oh shit, maybe No Cure is going to do some cool things. Cause like, some backstory. I mean, like, I work for bands. Like, I've toured a lot, like doing tour managing work and merch selling, lights, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But also, like, I am a whole ass promoter. Like, I book a lot of shows, and I work for a bigger promoter. So like very like integrated with that stuff.
Yeah.
So like I knew when I was starting a new band, like, okay, I know what this band is and what it's about and like where it's at. And when we had to turn away over 100 people, maybe 150 people from the Firehouse show, I was like, oh, this is something.
Yeah.
And granted, almost all of that was sang with Sugabog, but there were still a ton of like young people from Birmingham that were getting integrated because they had been exposed to No Cure, who then saw Sang with Sugabog. That's not a takeaway from them. Like that band's awesome and they draw crazy, but like it definitely was a cool show for us. Right. And Wielded Steel is like a bunch of like my closest friends, including Cyrus, who like is my best friend. Like we have matching spider tattoos with Nick Chance and everything.
Okay.
Wherever that guy is. I can't really show it to you. I have it, I promise.
I believe you.
Can't really twist my shit around like that.
You're not a contortionist.
No, I'm not. But yeah, so that was a very special night. It was very stressful. God bless the Firehouse. None of us, their team or me, were ready for that.
Yeah.
It was very stressful. And I have refrained from really overselling that place since, because that was probably not a good idea.
It was cool though. Like,
I
was like,
it was special.
Yeah, I was like, I'm gonna go. I'm new in Birmingham. I'm gonna go to this Monday metal show and see what's up.
But in reality, we don't need 250 people standing in a parking lot in Avondale. Right. Like, I don't need people to investigate what's going on.
Yeah.
We don't need any more attention from like authorities on what's happening there than what's already happening.
Yeah.
So it was good to keep it, not blow up the spot, as people would say.
Yeah.
But at LCY, we can be a little more stupid with it.
Do shows get shut down at Firehouse?
They haven't. And Firehouse is such an important cultural thing for Birmingham that, like, myself and a lot of people, I'm a novice. I didn't even mute my phone. Oh my gosh. You can tell it's my first time.
Jeez.
We really don't want to risk it.
Right.
Like, yes, we could make an insane one-off show happen, but, like, if it jeopardizes the safe place that the Firehouse is and what it has meant to the culture and the history of Birmingham, it's not worth it. Because you can just do a bunch of really cool shows that will fly under the radar and not be a problem. And there's just no reason to have people lined up down the block for a Firehouse show.
Yeah.
It's like not a venue, it's a music school. And they like let
that has a stage,
screaming music shows there. It's like not even like really a place for metal. It's like for art punk and like DIY stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, the definition of DIY is a bit funny because like most of the bands I work with do everything themselves.
Right.
So, like, it's at a different scale.
Yeah. But yeah, it's the venues here. There's a lot of cool venues, and like LCY, we saw y'all there.
Yeah. What show was that?
That was
Was it November?
November, yeah.
That was our record release show.
Yeah, it was cool.
That was the day that Johnny Grimes from Furnace Fest came. And I was like, Mr. Furnace Fest is here.
Mr. Furnace Fest.
That's cool as fuck.
Yeah.
Because I really like that guy. I think he's really cool. And after the show, he was like, hey, Blaythe, I wanted to ask you something. And I was like, Johnny, you don't have to beg. We'll play Furnace Fest. No, you don't have to. And he was laughing. And yeah, that's what he wanted. I was... That's really sick. Took a risk on that one. But I felt it. I saw it in his eyes.
Could you move? You're blocking me in. You could have been like, I need to ask you something. Can you move?
Yeah, it could have absolutely been something mundane. But I was feeling very confident after the set. And if you don't live a little,
hey, yeah, you only got one life, one chance.
Yeah, I don't drink, so like I have to like work to put myself in compromising social situations, and maybe I will do that.
Yeah.
But yeah, that worked out. And they were like, hey, you want to play the Shed Bash thing with Hatebreed? And at the time, Tara was going to play it too. And I was like, yes. I didn't even like ask the band.
Right, yeah.
Like there's nothing that they could have been doing that mattered more than playing with Hatebreed.
Yeah.
Like on any day, I guess unless someone's like dies. And then even still maybe then, I think Aesop, there's no one that Aesop's funeral, no. I can't speak. There's no one who Aesop would value their funeral over playing a show with Hatebreed in Birmingham, Alabama.
Yeah.
Like, even before that, in, like, September, she was like, yo, let's do a Hatebreed cover set for Halloween this year. And we ended up not being able to do one.
Okay. But,
like, we love Hatebreed.
Yeah.
Like, that is so obvious if you listen to our music, I think. But, that would have been cool. And then eventually that day ended up becoming, like, a whole normal fest day. But we're still playing on the Shed stage, so...
That's cool.
I consider this to be a win, and... I will be truly ungovernable there. I'll be playing a festival in my city, being very evil and saying a lot of crazy shit, hopefully.
Yeah. Okay.
And it'll be early as hell, and I'm going to say, good morning, fuckers.
Wait, yeah, so this is like a pre-Furnace Fest big show, like a full day event, right?
Originally, the Shed Bash was going to be just Friday, like... It was going to be like instead of day one of Furnace Fest, like the last 2 years, it was going to be just the Shed Bash on Friday. And it was going to be a lineup of just people on that stage. So it wasn't a pre-show. It was like a full-ass show.
Okay.
But it was smaller in scope and focused on like heavy bands. It was like us and Orthodox and Hatebreed. And Terror was originally in the lineup, but then I think they got shifted to a different day. I don't even know what happened with that. Like, I'm very far away from the decision-making of any of this.
Yeah.
But now that day is just a full-on Furnace Fest day. They added the 2 other stages in, or however many other ones they have. And so we're just playing Furnace Fest proper. But we always were, I guess.
Yeah.
But now it is just a full day instead of just a specialized show.
That's fucking sick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I called my mom, told her.
Yeah.
And she's like, I don't know any of that means, but you sound excited.
Yeah.
I was like, thanks, Mom.
Thanks, Mom.
Talk again sometime.
That's a very mom. I'm happy that you're excited.
Yeah. I was like, I need you to go to that. And she was like, yeah, maybe. I was like, all right.
All right.
Cool,
right
Mom.
On.
Love you. She has a garden. She's very into it.
Oh, well, yeah. Gardens are very precious. Wrong pH levels fuck something up.
Yeah, I think the pH is how high drainage is. They're different colors, right? Something like that. Who's to say? I
don't know.
Who could know this arcane knowledge?
I'm not a garden doctor.
No, absolutely not.
The Furnace Fest is wild, though. It's crazy that it's in Alabama.
Yeah. I think Alabama's a very slept-on place in general. There's a lot of negative perceptions, some of which are fair, some of which are not fair, and really discount the amount of work that people here have been putting to improving it and fighting that shit. Like that, a lot of that is like what No Cure is about, honestly. Like, I write about that kind of stuff, and I will write about that more because I'm understanding it more as I'm getting older. Yeah. And I've always cared about it, but being able to put it into words, like, I don't want to like sing about that, dichotomy without really being able to like wrap my fingers around it. Yeah. Because like I said earlier, like I'm not trying to like just throw big words at someone and hope that it makes sense. Like I'm trying to like fucking say something. Yeah. Digestible. Yeah. So it's definitely a reason. And because like you want to write about like Alabama problems without being like the South will rise again kind of shit. Right. There's a very I need that distinction to be clear today because I am not trying to deal with whatever that that kind of miscommunication, because that's definitely not what we're about.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So definitely got to ride the line.
Definitely a razor thin line, I would think.
And it shouldn't be, but it is, because people are like, Alabama guy?
Alabama.
What's he about? I think I know what he's about. It's like, all right,
Yeah.
come on.
Yeah.
It's a bit silly. A lot of times when I go on tour, people will be like, oh, you're from Alabama? You guys only have dirt roads, right?
Right, yeah.
And in that brief moment, I could kill them.
Yeah.
I could make them different. You know, just like, oh, this shit makes me so angry.
Yeah, I think it's there's a lot to learn from traveling and touring.
Yeah,
and you realize that people are people everywhere. And you'll run into some dum-dums or that, like you're saying, see y'all from Alabama, and they're like, oh, okay, Leonard Skinner, fucking
Muscle Shoals,
yeah,
which is badass.
Yeah,
but it's not what we're doing here.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know. I've been touring as much as I possibly could since I was 17.
Yeah,
and I've absolutely expanded my worldview almost every time. Like, I'm still learning shit. Like, oh, and I definitely like challenged a lot of my beliefs as a kid touring. Like, oh shit, this is not what I was led to believe. Yeah. People are different than what I thought, and there is a lot more depth to the human experience than just what I had seen. So it's definitely a valuable thing to do for character development.
Yeah.
And learning how to not spend a lot of money.
Yeah. Bring a water bottle.
Yeah. Water is so fire.
It's good.
Such a good drink. Best one.
Do you still play chess?
Very casually.
Yeah.
I think the last time I played chess, I play like with my girl fairly often. Fairly often is a stretch. Like sometimes it's fun. I play with my friends a bit. Once I was on tour with a band called Orthodox, who I mentioned earlier, playing Furnace Fest. And I was talking a lot of shit to Adam, their singer, being like, oh, dude, I'm about to trounce you in chess. Like, you don't even understand. And we were in Ybor City near Tampa at the Blind Tiger coffee shop, which a lot of hardcore people like because it's pretty cool, I think. I like it a lot. It's very pretty. And there's a chessboard, and I had been talking so much shit. And we sat down, and he just whipped my ass. You. And I talked shit the whole time because, it's still fun to talk shit even when you're losing.
Oh, yeah.
But no, he took me apart. But yeah, that was a lot of fun.
Do you still, like, when you play casually now, do you know, like, all the gambits and opening moves and stuff like that?
I know there's some you shouldn't do.
Yeah.
And there's a couple of them. I don't know the names. So I know, like, sometimes putting the knight over here is a pretty good thing to do. Yeah. And I know you don't want to take that guy away from this guy. But over than that, I'm, like, not great at it. Like, when I played as a kid, it was more just like, you stay after school and now you're playing chess. Like, we weren't really led or taught. We kind of just did it. It was a great time. And I was like, this is life. And then I found screaming music. And I was like, wait. There's more.
Yeah. Stop the record. Yeah.
Yeah. I've been so fixated on it since.
The screaming music.
Yeah.
Because,
like, since I started playing shows, like, I've never taken a break, like, in any capacity. I've always had a new band lined up by the time my last band, something's about to fall apart. Sometimes more than one band. Like, I never, like, have had a period where I was like, oh, maybe I should have a backup plan or, like, a second thing. And it's not to say you should focus on playing in a local band to have a career. Like, that's not how I've always looked at it. Like, I've always been like, this is what I'm going to do to the most I can. Yeah. So, like, I've always been doing that, I guess. And without it, I don't know what I would do. Probably nothing. I guess maybe play more chess. But
have you always been, like, I don't want to say entrepreneurial, but, like, getting after it with, like, big dreamer?
I have such a hard relationship with, like, entrepreneurial ideals because hustle culture is so exhausting.
It's garbage. Yeah.
It sucks terribly. I made some of, like, the Birmingham, like, DIY punk people mad and they called me corporate hardcore, which at first hurt my feelings. I'm not going to lie. Like, I do not have the thickest skin in the world. Like, I will get my feelings hurt.
I feel that.
It will work, Yeah. But and I guess they're getting at, like, the way I approach things is like, hey, let's all fucking have a plan here.
Yeah.
And I think that you can have a plan for like doing a good show without being some capitalist corporate guy.
Yeah.
I think there's many steps between like just putting a flyer on Instagram and then like doing what Live Nation does.
Yeah.
Like, there's many steps, and like you can have many good levels of show between that.
Yeah.
So I got a little roasted for that. You know, some Instagram stories, that kind of thing. I thought it was a bit mean, silly, but so I guess that further complicates my relationship with your question, which is entrepreneurship. But I mean, I've always been in the mindset of, okay, this is what I want to do, which is be involved in music.
Yeah.
How do I do that? How do I do that for a long time? Because like I've never been like a tourist. Like I knew immediately from seeing My Children, My Bride, like, okay, this is what I want to do. How am I going to do this at, and what level can I do it at? So obviously there has to be some amount of financial literacy. Like, and you have to like plan.
Right. Yeah.
And depending on who you ask, that could be the work of the enemy. So it's all perspective.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
My with like anything with a passion project or a band or anything, my mindset's always been like, we gotta shoot our shot is my thing. Like I'm sure you've seen bands or in your brain you've been like, why aren't they like trying harder or why aren't they all in, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. But like I've actually had a few different phases of life, like how I thought about this.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
I think that more bands should just be like down to be like an awesome local regional band.
Yeah.
I think that there's nothing wrong with that. I think that a lot of bands that are trying wrong, and they're spinning their wheels. They're just going to burn themselves out.
Yeah.
I think it's much cooler to just like be a part of the community, make a band that is awesome, that people like, go to other people's shows, and just like be part of the thing. And then, like, if people like it, oh, shit, maybe reevaluate that. Like, just, like, make cool shit. Yeah. I think. And I didn't plan... No Cure was going to be a side project. It was like, oh, we're going to make a straight edge band, because I've always wanted to do that. Because, I mean, I've been straight edge since I was 14. And unflinchingly, and I think it's been very, very good for me. Yeah. And maybe someone else will hear it and be like, oh, shit, maybe this is what I need. And I don't know. I'm not here to, like, shove it or anything, but, like, I wanted to make a straight edge band. I never had before. And we're like, okay... We want to make a straight edge band, but we want to be the grossest, heaviest, most evil sounding straight edge band ever. And also, I'm going to do screaming. I'm not going to do yelling. So it's going to be a metal band, mostly, with a lot of hardcore influence. Who's going to like that? I didn't think anyone was going to like it, because like it was so specifically nichely, like what, I don't think nichely is the word, but like so niche in like what I wanted to hear. Yeah. It was like literally like for me music. And I didn't think it would resonate with anyone. I was like, oh, we'll just be a local band that plays when people want it. And I'll still be doing like my old band at the time. And it actually worked out quite nicely that things fell apart with that as No Cure took shape. I was like, oh shit, well, I guess that's what I'm going to do now. Yeah. And that's what I'm doing now, I guess. I mean, don't get me wrong, like back on the corporate thing, like No Cure is not how I pay my bills. Booking hardcore shows at LCY or Insanity or Firehouse is not how I make money. I don't make money from that level of show. Like, the money I make from shows is like the bigger shows. Like last night, David Jones from Reaction Presents. That's who I work for on a lot of like the bigger stuff. And throughout the week, like he's just like my boss at this point. And it's been great. But like we had Jaden at Iron City last night. And I went there and repped the show. Like that's like how I make money on shows. Like it's not when I bring my friends from, Arkansas. Like I had Morbid Visions come play Insanity a few weeks ago. The show was great. And I didn't take $1 from it, I didn't even pay myself back for the flyer. So that's like why when someone said I was like corporate hardcore, I was like, come on, this is so insulting to what I'm trying to build. Right. And I shouldn't get my feelings hurt, but I kind of did. It's like,
you're human.
I'm a baby. It's just like, I just care about it so much, and to have someone be so wrong about my intentions, just like, y'all, because like you have to try when you have your friends coming from out of state. Right. They have to get money because they need to buy food, they need to buy gas. Yeah. Okay, and you want the show to sound good, so I need to bring in a PA, because these are all DIY venues that, besides Firehouse, don't have like real PAs. Right. And like, okay, well, you need someone to run a PA. Got to pay people. Yeah. So it's like, all right, so maybe the show needs to be good. And that's kind of like how my thought process is. Right. It's like, all right, so how much can I share on Facebook to make a show good? Is very little. It's like a whole team effort. Yeah. Sorry, I didn't mean to like circle back to that, but like
No, it's
I think about it a lot, you know.
Yeah. Well, it's you care, you know.
Unfortunately, I do, and for that reason, I'm cringe.
And you're cringe.
Yeah, I'm cringe because I care about shit and want people to have a good time.
Oh my gosh. But Insanity Skate Park, is that in Huntsville?
Yes.
That's
so
cool.
I'm originally from Madison, Huntsville area.
Okay.
And the first time I ever saw Shannon, my wife, was at an Insanity show when I was 14.
Okay.
I think it was a Fire and Ice show.
Okay.
It was a super old hardcore band. I think got canceled. I'm not really sure what happened there. But Insanity like used to be like a very consistent venue for North Alabama. Like I know Whitechapel's played there, Carnifex has played there, I Wrestle a Bear Once has played there, like all before like 2010.
Yeah.
And then that venue went away because the employees there that were facilitating that like moved on. And then eventually I was able to like convince them to do shows again, like around like 2018, I think. Maybe.
Yeah.
The first show I had back there was Kayanashi.
Okay.
And I think Sworn In, which was really cool for the time, I guess. People had fun. It was obviously not what I want to be listening to, but that's not always why I book shows, you know? But yeah, so Insanity is badass. We do a lot of shows like in a small room there, but there's also like some bigger spaces because like I had Knocked Loose there before COVID in like the pavilion area, and that was obviously insane.
Okay.
And I had Kublai there when they were significantly smaller before COVID in the small room that we do most of the shows in, which was a very fucked up thing to do. I'm surprised. Well, someone did get their occipital bone shattered, but other than that, most people were fine.
What's Orion? And now y'all shows are going on at Orion.
So Orion is also
the amphitheater.
up there. It's a 7,000 capacity real ass venue, but they also have like a couple other spaces they let us do shows.
Okay.
in. And I did the Chamber and No Cure show there in mid-March.
Yeah.
Just to like test it out.
Yeah.
And it was very cold and there were a lot of problems, but the staff was really cool and helpful. And we were able to resolve most of it. So I'll probably do more there.
Nice.
But as of right now, it's like I love Insanity because there's so much history, you know.
Yeah.
But
can you skate?
Can I skate?
Yeah.
Skaters hate this, but I am somewhere between a casual and avid longboarder. I really like longboarding.
I like longboarding.
I'm 6'4", board big, body big. No pressure to do tricks I can't do and hurt myself.
That's right.
But you can go really fast down hills and carve and do all that shit, which I like doing a lot. I've done a lot of that around Birmingham. But yeah, I love longboarding. I usually bring one on tour. It helps me get around.
Yeah.
It's not as cool as skateboarding. I'm not going to pretend it is. And skateboarders hate it, and I think it's really funny. But no, I love longboarding.
You just cruise.
Yeah, but I have a ton of respect for the skateboarding community, and I think that is like the coolest part of alternative culture is skateboarding.
It's like I'm a large man as well, and trying to get on small board as you know.
I'll never ride a penny board,
baby board.
It's not for me.
No, it's and I have no control.
Yeah,
I'm not good enough.
Well, there's that.
Yeah, I just I don't want to, and I can't wear the wrist pads and the knee pads, and
you could.
I could,
but why?
Exactly. I got an image.
Oh shit! How do you consider that? Podcast host has an image. No, I quite like longboarding. I've gone snowboarding twice.
Okay.
That was the coolest thing I've done besides anything related to screaming music.
Yeah.
And I've wakeboarded a fair bit, like in lakes in Alabama in the summer and stuff, like with friends. And that's good too. That is a workout. Makes my abs hurt.
What's that?
Wakeboarding?
Wakeboarding.
It's when you like get towed.
Oh yeah.
And you're like strapped in like a snowboard.
Yeah.
But it's different than surfing.
Yeah. What, are there some scream bands that newer scream bands that you're into?
Absolutely. Am I allowed to look at my phone for this?
You go for it.
Too on the spot for this.
We got time. Yeah, that's like a what's your favorite movie question?
I don't even like movies.
It's
a lie. I don't know. I like Antichrist Siege Machine a lot. That band sounds crazy. They're kind of newer. They're like 5 years old or so. I don't know. A lot of it is just cool to see. Like, I toured with Boundaries when I was doing Orthodox stuff, and like seeing what they're doing now is really cool. Mm-hmm. They're a newer band for a lot of people. They're not a new band to me, but like they are a newer band as far as like commercially doing awesome shit all the time. And they're a straight edge band, but they don't talk about it a lot. Yeah, they're from Connecticut. Like everyone in that band is straight edge, which I think is super cool. And they have songs about it. And like their singer Matt, sometimes I don't know what song they do. I think it's My Strength or something like that. He'll be like live, if you're not straight edge, don't fucking move. And then the straight edge kids then beat the fuck out of everyone, which is fire. I don't know. That was a bad answer. I think Creeping Death is awesome. They're newer. A whole wave of like death metal stuff written by people from hardcore I think is great. I know some people are getting tired of that sound. I don't care. I think it's awesome. It's nice that when people make death metal that isn't all techie, because that shit puts me to sleep. I like a lot of metalcore stuff too.
Yeah.
The tour we did with Chamber, like their new stuff is very cool. Like I'm going to listen to it a lot when it comes out, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. That's a really bad answer, I think.
It's good. Like it's strange to me, like the techie stuff. You're just the like having backing tracks that are like synth for like a heavy band. It's a little strange. Maybe that's too judgy.
I don't think it's too judgy. It's just a different stylistic thing, I think.
Yeah.
And I like some of that stuff. Like I liked to make them suffer a lot when I was younger. They're also like real death metal people.
Oh, that's
like,
a band. Sorry,
yeah.
I thought you were about like
Cannibal Corpse.
Okay, yeah.
They're an Australian band, and they had this record that was like all synthy and like orchestral, and they like did a lot of blast beats. And in like 2012, I hadn't heard anything like that before besides Flesh God Apocalypse, which I liked a lot at the time. So I thought that was cool. And there's like a resurgence of that, like in Lorna Shore and bands like that. And those bands are crushing it. Yeah. People love it. They're getting a ton of new people into other styles of metal, and I'm cool with that.
Yeah.
I understand that a laptop is essential to do that, and bands will make enough to hire an orchestra, so what are they going to do?
It's true.
So I don't even think it's fair to even roast them for that. It's like, how else do you make that sound, motherfucker?
Yeah.
Do you have a 40-person orchestra side stage? I don't think so.
Yeah, it's true. That's a lot of people to move.
Too many people.
To tour around with.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
No Cure's not a laptop band, though.
No.
And that's on purpose.
Yeah. I liked, Ronnie Radke. He got roasted a couple months ago for saying, how are we supposed to play without a laptop?
Oh, Ronald. Bro cannot stop making everybody angry. I don't know him, but he does like to say insane shit a lot.
Well, silly drama.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that, he gets people talking about him, but he also has a lot of rough allegations, I think. I'm pretty out of the loop on like that side of
I don't know.
Alternative music. I don't really know what I'm fucking talking about. So hopefully no one quotes me on this and takes it out of context saying that I'm a Ronnie Radke defender. I don't even know what he's done.
Are there any like influences that people would be surprised, like outside of screaming music, for whenever you're trying to write music or lyrics?
Is Mr. Bungle screaming music? Is Linkin Park screaming music?
No.
Well, I don't draw from either of those really for No Cure, but like I as a person have learned a lot from those bands.
Yeah.
Linkin Park's a bit screaming music.
They're a little screamy.
Mr. Bungle isn't really, but that is for screaming music people, I think. I don't know, that band's weird. They make me feel insane. Like sometimes on night drives when I'm trying to stay awake, I'll put on that record with the clown on it, like on tour, and it just makes my skin feel like it's too tight. And that keeps me from falling asleep and killing everyone in No Cure, which is nice.
Is that Mike Patton?
Yeah.
Mike Patton band? Okay. He's got a lot of weird bands.
He's on some freak shit.
Yeah.
He can do things that are just beyond my comprehension.
Yeah. It's like, Mr. Bungle, it's kind of, it goes into like artsy kind of, right?
It's definitely doing shit that is more than most bands.
Yeah.
It feels different than like music that's supposed to sound artsy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it doesn't feel self-aggrandizing like a lot of like the artsy music does. Like, artsy.
Intending to be artsy.
Yeah,
it's more just artsy like, by
we made some shit and you're about to be subjected to it. It definitely feels like it happens to you, which I think is really cool.
Have you ever wanted to do a project like that?
Absolutely, I have. Yeah. I thought about it many times. I don't know how I would go about it because there's so many ways to approach it, but I'm sure I'll make an insane person record. Mm-hmm. Probably sometime in a couple years. I'd like to do that because like right now I'm really focused on doing like No Cure stuff.
Right. Yeah.
I don't want to like go make an insane record, which will take me forever to write because I'd be very particular with it. Like, I can write no cure music very fast, and like we have a really good process. Like, Aesop will come over to my house, she'll bring like the dumbest riff that I've ever heard, and then we'll turn it into the coolest song together, and that process works really well. And then we'll jam it out, and then we'll start playing it and all that. But that's the general gist of it. I mean, there's a few no cure songs that like I just like wrote because like my background before being a singer, like, this is the first band I've sang for. Like, I only play guitar for bands, so like I definitely like be riffing in my spare time. So
you be riffing.
I do be riffing, but I try not to write too much of the no cure material because I want it to not sound like other bands I've done.
Okay.
And it super doesn't, so that has been successful, I guess.
Yeah, I'm sure.
It sounds dope compared to a lot of the other music I wrote.
Yeah.
So I'm going to keep letting Aesop bring over her little riffs that are the dumbest riffs I've ever heard.
dumb, stupid good? Or
yeah, I mean, like, one of the riffs in Curse from Birth is just chugging open. It's like digga, 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 and then goes dun, 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 dun. Just 3 bars of digga, 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 just open power. But it works. And then, like, with the vocal pattern over it and then the drums, like, it like becomes like a thing. When like the guitar riff by itself, if someone's played it for you, you'd be like, what the fuck is that? Which is what happened when she played that riff. And then I was like, oh wait, we can build.
Yeah.
So
that's cool. Yeah, and I'm sure it's my automatic cat feeder. But
they've got to eat.
They do. I'm sure, people want to feel like it's their project as well.
Yeah.
It's not, Yeah,
absolutely. No Cure's been very collaborative with everybody. It's the most I've had in a band, which might be why it's better than my other bands.
Yeah,
Because I can write songs in my room all day, but like if it doesn't have, the X factor or the je ne sais quoi or whatever, oh, great. Straight edge. Then it doesn't matter. And there's something intangible about the way Aesop writes riffs that I can't put into words. I call them dumb, and I mean that affectionately.
Dummy, stupid, thick.
Yes,
that type of.
And like, this isn't like this. Her hearing this is not going to hurt her feelings. She knows that I call her stupid all the time, and she like wears that with pride. And she's like, "Yeah, they're hard as fuck." I'm like, "Correct."
Right. Yeah. Yeah. What's the Ironbird guitar?
Yeah, she's
super into that, right?
Yeah, she loves those pointy guys.
It's sick.
They are badass. They're really big on her tiny body.
Yeah, it's a just like aesthetically, it looks cool.
Well, she is into metal for metal's sake, and I think that's awesome. Like, she brings so much like extreme and like obscure death metal bands influence into No Cure.
Yeah.
Which is great because like not everyone in No Cure is like from that world of it.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, for example, how to elaborate on that, but like Aesop definitely likes the most obscure and extreme music in the band, followed by me and Dewey. Dewey likes a lot of that stuff too. Like a lot. Probably more than me. Probably Aesop and Dewey like the most, 200 monthly listeners on Spotify kind of shit. But they bring a lot of that, and it's awesome.
Well,
part of that is the reflection of the guitar she plays. Like, it's not on an accident. Like, she picked
that.
Yeah. She went through many different shapes before she was like, this is the one for me. She runs like an Ironbird fan page on Instagram. It does great. And she's known for it in some capacity now, and I think it's cool. Yeah. She was like, I like those. Those are mine now. And I said, go off, queen.
Go off. Yeah, I'm sure if she was rocking just a normal, like, Telly or something. Yeah, I was trying to think of the most mayonnaise guitar.
Yeah, I'd pull my shorts open, puke into them, and then let them snap with elastic, and just look at the camera like I'm Jim from The Office if I saw her roll up with a Telly.
I'll zoom in, yeah.
Oh, you can zoom, post?
Maybe, I don't know. I'll figure it out.
Oh.
But was there, did you have anxiety switching from playing guitar to singing?
Still do.
Yeah.
I'm way better at guitar.
Well, I don't know, singing is just so like personal.
It is. And it's harder on your body. Luckily, I've like not fucked my shit up at all, and we've been touring a lot, so I'm feeling pretty confident in my sustainability as far as doing it.
Yeah.
But at first I had no idea, and I'm still like getting better at being a front man, because I knew that I didn't want to just be like a guy that's screaming. Like, I wanted to like like how hardcore bands like front the band, like give it and like speak about the purpose of the band, and I'm still like getting a lot better at that. I was not good at it at first. And why would I be?
Right.
It's learning. My first time doing it. But yeah, so I wouldn't say I'm not confident in it, but like if someone was like, hey, I need you to fill in for my band.
Yeah.
If they asked me for a guitar, I'd feel a lot more confident in that. Like, and like, hey, can you just sing? I'd be like, I can make the sound.
I can make sounds.
There's more to it than that.
Right.
I don't know, screaming, like not screaming, but like just being a front man in like an aggressive music band, there's just so much more to it than just like, yeah, I have a guitar rig and I fucking shred. You know, that's so much. Maybe I just understand it better because I've been doing that for longer. That's probably what it is. Yeah. People that have been fronting bands since they were a teenager probably also would be like, I could never play guitar like that. But it's like, it's all the same shit probably. Yeah. I don't know. It's just like, I'm not as used to it. Yeah. But I have a really good time. But it's higher highs and lower lows. Because most of our shows have been very, very good. But there's been a couple moments where it's like, I don't think these people are enjoying this too much. Yeah. And that doesn't feel good. Like when you're playing guitar, you can just headbang harder. Yeah. But when I'm like looking at the crowd and like trying to feed off it and then give and like respond, it's much more palpable. But then again, when the shows are crazy and people are piling on, and like I can do like stick out the mic and they know the words. Yeah. It's funny when they don't and they do it anyway. I think that's badass. I think it's really badass when people don't know the words, but they're just like going crazy and happy to be there. Yeah. But no, when people like know this shit and they're like up front with me, piling on, because like our music is written for that. Like that was a very on purpose thing that I did when approaching the arrangement. Like I wanted that. I wanted it to be like how a hardcore band has like pileups, like back in the early 2000s. Oh yeah. Very intentional. So when that happens, it's very rewarding. Yeah. But when it doesn't happen, it's like.
Big,
you get what I'm saying.
Big matzo ball just hanging out there. Yeah.
Yeah, but we still ball. I'm still gonna go hard. Still gonna do my shit. Yeah. But it is more fun when people care. I don't think that's a controversial thing to say.
No, of course not. No, it's like I had one guy on who I was talking about his like. He's never like I've seen live videos and I've never seen one where he's like. This crowd fucking sucks, because it's like
I do be talking shit sometimes, but not like that.
No, because it's like he said like there's a saying where it's like you can't blame the goalie, like it's not the crowd's fault.
Yeah, if you're not delivering, then you're not delivering. Yeah, but I think that we played this fest in Texas, and before like a heavier part, I said something along the lines of. There are no hard moshers in this room. What are you scared of?
I like that.
And that is when the hard moshers, who I knew were there, who were already beat ass 2 times as hard. So I definitely played them with that one. Oh, yeah. And that felt funny. I had a good time with that.
The ringmaster.
But you can talk a little shit,
Yeah. But I'm sure you've seen where it goes over to like...
Pathetic.
This is like... Yeah. You guys fucking suck. Where it's like... I don't know if you're into wrestling, but there's like, the heel, the thing can be like, this city fucking sucks. Your sports team sucks. Whatever. It gets into like that sort of territory, but being like a real thing of like.
I'm just so grateful to be playing like pretty good shows everywhere we go that like talking shit on their city and their scene just doesn't even cross my mind. Yeah. Like even if it's like a lukewarm reception, like for our first time, like somewhere. Which we've been lucky that most of the times it's been very lit. Yeah. God, I hate saying lit, but that's how you gotta describe it sometimes. I'm still not gonna go up there and disrespect them and what they have. No. Because I'm from a smaller scene. I'm not gonna go there and be like, hello, Midwestern city. You suck. Not gonna do that.
Has there been a city y'all have played as No Cure where you've been like, shit, I didn't know this was gonna pop off?
I'm constantly surprised at the amount of people that go that are excited to see us. Yeah. I've never had a band that people were excited about at all, really, besides like my friends who probably felt socially obligated to be. So I'm just very grateful and thankful every time it happens, and it's happening far more than I would have ever expected. Greenville, South Carolina is probably the best hardcore scene in the Southeast right now, at least for like what I'm able to observe. Okay. It's great. Jacksonville is great. Our shows in Nashville are great. I think Alabama's awesome. I haven't done a lot of Georgia. I want to, though. Yeah. Obviously, Texas is always good for pretty much everyone. But us too, don't worry. Yeah. We're going out west for the first time in May, like beyond Texas, because we've done a lot southeast, Midwest and north, and some northeast, not as much.
Yeah.
But we're doing like the full bitch in May and June with My Children, My Bride, which is very full circle for me, as you can imagine, as they were the first show I ever saw. So I'm very excited to take No Cure to Cali. I've been to Cali on other tours plenty of times, but like not with my band, with the songs that I wrote, with the words that I am singing. That feels very personal. So I'm very excited about that. We got a lot of like DMs being like, "Yo, can't wait for you to come to this place that I guess we're playing." That I can't remember all the shows. Who could?
Yeah.
The agent could, but I'm not the agent for this one. So
hell yeah.
Yeah, so that's gonna be really cool. And there's gonna be a lot of old people that haven't gone to shows since My Children, My Bride was a thing, mixed in with like the younger crowd who beat ass to come, like that will come see us. So I think there's gonna be some fights, and I think it's gonna be badass. I'm not gonna stop playing.
Hell yeah. If you see what's been like the worst fight, or have you had to stop a set yet to be like?
I don't think we would, unless someone was getting killed.
Unless like their femur was poking straight out.
Yeah, I mean, there's been knockouts and stuff, and there's been some brutal stuff which I don't want to go more in detail on. But
stuff happens.
We're an aggressive music band doing aggressive music at a show where that is an environment where that should happen sometimes. You know that going to it. Why should I stop unless someone is in risk of like their life being ended?
Yeah.
Like I see two men buck up at each other. I don't give a fuck. They're going to figure it out.
Yeah.
Why should I be like, Dewey, stop hitting the drums?
Yeah. Wait, guys. Yeah, I get that.
There could be a situation that would cause me to think that should happen, but that has not been something we've even like approached yet.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it comes with the territory of people like going to shows, like you were saying. Mm-hmm. Like, if you don't want to get kicked in the face,
there's so many places you can stand.
And
honestly, standing in the very front
might not be the worst place.
It's not so bad because people aren't going to punch you in the back of the head. It's the sides and the middle. That's where it's like, all right,
it's hairy.
And I know sometimes it's people's first show and all that, and there's a learning curve to it, but it's fine. If you know what you're doing, you're going to be fine. I have been going to shows recklessly since I was a child, and I've only really been hurt twice.
Yeah.
And I was a mosh warrior, don't get me wrong, and I have been known to still, if I'm feeling it, but I am getting a little older now, of course. Yeah. And I don't like moshing on tour. That shit is, you don't know who you're going to fuck up, you know, because they could have some really big friends,
a crew
that take it very seriously, and it's oh shit, I didn't even see him. But my nose was broken at the end in Florence, Alabama when I was like 16, I think. That's why I have a bump in my nose now. Like I look different because of hardcore permanently. My nose was straight as an arrow.
Hardcore's changed my life. Changed my face.
Yeah, I am different now because of screaming music. And then in December, I got my ribs broken to Rhythm of Fear at the Firehouse. The biggest man I've ever seen in Birmingham, who goes to shows sometimes, but he got my ass. And sometimes you're the hammer, sometimes you're the nail, and I respected it.
It's true.
But he does this thing where he like goes side to side, but then like spins and like throws his heel like 4 feet to the side. He's huge.
Yeah.
And I didn't even see it happen. I just felt it, and I like fucking felt like I doubled over, and I had to go sit somewhere else. I didn't even realize it was broken until the next day. Yeah. And then I had to record a ton of vocals that month for the new No Cure record. And I sound like it hurts because it does. So hopefully when people hear the record, they will be like, damn, that sounds crazy. And just know that I was in agony when I was making that. But we had to make it.
Yeah.
Who am I to not make it?
That's right.
So that wasn't very fun, but I think it sounds really cool.
Yeah. Broken ribs, it's like hurts to just breathe.
Yeah, it was like lower. So like it was okay. I'm big, it's all right. But it was pretty unpleasant.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of different ways that people do screaming.
Right.
I don't do the quiet shit. So it was pretty like a lot of compressing my core to do it, and it didn't feel good. But it sounds like it does because I do it that way, so I did it that way,
Nice. Yeah. Well, I'm glad you've you're in better pieces now.
Yeah, I'm unkillable. So far.
I love it. Oh shit, we've been going for 50-ish minutes.
Flew by. You're great at this.
I've enjoyed it.
Oh, yeah.
Do you have any closing remarks you'd like to say?
I don't know. Start a band, but please be good. But also, it's okay if you're bad at first, but people will still fuck with it as long as you're working on it.
Yeah.
Go to shows. Always go to shows.
Oh, yeah.
Be a part of the community. And I guess if you haven't heard my band, you should listen to it. Like, I can't imagine like getting this far to it and being like, oh, I'm not going to check this band out. Like,
yeah.
Be so embarrassing to like listen to this whole podcast and then not listen to No Cure, I think. At least like give it a shot.
Right.
And you might not like it. That's okay. I like it though.
I like it.
Oh, that's good.
The royal you. Yeah. And I'll plug everything at the beginning. But yeah, Blaythe, you had options, but you decided to talk to me. I appreciate it.
Of course. I think all I would be doing tonight would be hanging out with my dogs, Bear and Grizz, because my girl is working overnight at the hospital, and that shit sucks.
Good for her. Is she a doctor, nurse?
Yeah, she's a resident at Children's.
Oh, hell yeah.
First year where she finished medical school.
Oh, nice.
It's funny because like I met her through heavy music in Alabama, and like she used to tour with me playing bass for like one of my more metalcore bands for a while. Cool. So like she's like fully from this shit. Like she's like ran shows for me, like all this stuff. She can't do that anymore, obviously.
Right.
But like, oh, she actually sang at the Sango Sigwalk show at Firehouse. She did a guest spot for No Cure. She sang Jake from Judiciary's part.
Okay.
Which is like, burn motherfucker, forged in my straight edge. Very fire. She is so fire. But yeah, so she's a resident in pediatrics now, which means that she gets paid less than minimum wage if you count out the hours, which is usually about 70 hours a week. Overnight a lot. Her life is terrible. My life is great in comparison. So she's doing all that.
Yeah.
She's really cool though.
That's
very
cool.
good looking.
I'm glad.
Yeah. Be embarrassing if I didn't think she was good looking.
Yeah.
But I do, unfortunately, for everyone else.
Yeah. Well, that's, she's paying her dues. You're paying your dues. Everybody's paying their dues.
I mean, we're looking at it like, let's just go as hard as we can right now. And then hopefully we'll both have something very cool.
Yeah.
But right now we're both tired. But off we go.
You're doing great. You're both doing great.
Trying to.